That first year as principal of Evergreen Junior High, if I remember right, I had a little bit of administrative assistance theoretically from a lady who was also the school librarian. I don't remember much about her. I know I didn't particularly ask her to do any specific things administrative-wise, and I never felt that she was comfortable with that idea. In other words, she didn't kind of present herself as available to do administrative things. And certainly I wasn't unhappy with her, but I think maybe she didn't feel that was the right niche for her, and she moved on. And it was then the next year that Bobby Morris and Harold Morris and their two children came into our community. And Bobby was a strong personality, to say the least. She hadn't been there very long, and she came into the office during the regular part of the school day, flustered, angry, embarrassed, chagrined. There's a girl in my little office that I can't get her to leave, and I tried to talk her in and told her she had to leave, and she swore at me, and she used words I've never even heard. Well, I said, okay, I'll go in and see what I can do. Well, I went in there, and the young lady was Diane Keck. And Diane was not a happy camper in those days. And I knew that. The year before we went up to Evergreen, I don't know just whether it was in the summer before or just when, her uncle and his wife had been, I think, to a dance. But at any rate, they were driving around Evergreen Lake, lost control of the car, went into the lake, and were drowned. Well, strong family ties there. Diane's mother and dad took all those kids, and there was a bunch, I can't remember, 5, 6. And Diane's family was several children too. A tremendous undertaking. I think Diane just couldn't give up and accept that her parents were gone, and I'm sure her life changed so much to go from a home with her own parents into somebody else's home and all the children, and those parents, foster parents and parents, they must have been almost overwhelmed themselves. And, you know, Diane was, I think, maybe a 9th grader at that time, a young woman, and yet a child. Boy, she let me kind of have it, and you know, I'd been in the Army. I didn't get too excited. I listened, and when she ran down, I more or less told her, look, Diane, I don't know, I can't do much about it, but you do have to leave. And I expect I told her the story of having called the sheriff to have a child removed from an office back in Elkhart, Kansas. And she left. And I don't think she really held it against me down the line. Incidentally, our Rita and one of Diane's sisters or cousins, but one of that family, one of those girls became a very, very, very close friend of our Rita's. And eventually kids grew up, and that daughter married Larry Alt, another one of our students and a favorite. And we visited them 2 or 3 times up in their home around Boulder. Not Boulder, but somewhere up in that area. Well, the next year they made a different switch, sent me a counselor who was to be a counselor and a part-time helper in administration. A pretty lady, a very capable lady, and I don't remember exactly about assignments, but I felt like, hey, I'm going to get some help here. And oh man, she would just tell me what a great job I was doing and so on, and I'm telling you, you'd have thought I was the best of the best when she was talking to me. But Christmas time rolled around, And we'd been having a Christmas party, well attended, well enjoyed, and there's one being planned again. I think this would have been the 3rd year, so I'm off on my timing here a little. The rumor got to me that Jerry Difford's not going to go to the party. I said, what? Everybody goes to the party. Jerry says he's not going. So I couldn't figure out what in the heck is going on that a man as amiable and as much a team player as Jerry Difford isn't going to go to the party. So I got a hold of him and sat down and I said, Jerry, what's going on? I said, you don't want to know. Yeah, I do. Well, when you got right down to it, he wasn't going to go to a party with this particular lady present because he was in a carpool with her and a boy named Dennis that I'll tell another tale about sometime. Maybe somebody else, but at least those 3. And he said they got into a habit of stopping at one of the bars or something to have a drink, kick back a little bit on the way back home. And he said, that woman says the meanest things and undercuts you wouldn't believe it. I will not go to a party and be with her and have her gushing all over and making you feel like you're the greatest guy in the world when she cuts you down behind your back. Well, some time went by, and I confronted that lady on it, and she denied it. And you know, Jerry Difford's the honest of the most honest. If he tells you so, it's so. And so if she wasn't going to get honest with me, she's not going to be around. So I moved to have her dismissed, and she appealed it. We ended up with a big hearing with my boss, Joy Clapp, and the director of guidance, and so on. She wasn't back the next year. Hard to understand. Why would she do that? How could she do that? A professional woman with talent and ability, good looks, probably had a good career and a career ahead of her that was good, and come and be a two-faced, witchy person.